So this is the Willis Creek Trailhead. Today we're gonna go hike Willis Creek Slot Canyon in Utah in the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. But this is a fun adventure because just the journey to the trailhead is an adventure in itself. Just in the 5 or 10 minutes that I'm spending putting my boots on, getting my bag, I'm about to get my hat, 25 people have just been like an endless train hitting the trail. One of them's blowing a bear whistle like she's hiking in Kodiak, Alaska. Little kids screaming, parents shouting, dogs of every variety. There's little miniature poodles. All right, we're here for the Slot Canyon. We're just gonna forego any idea of nature in all of its splendor, beauty, and glory. The soundtrack of this hike is going to be the soundtrack of a inner city park. Yeah. So right here, at the very beginning of the trail, right off the road, there's a little slot section where Willis Creek tumbles down a super narrow spot into some pools, and it's a beautiful little waterfall. That is going to be a great spot to cool off once we get back to the truck. So the Willis Creek Slot Canyon Trail, it's really close to Bryce Canyon, which sits, well, Bryce Canyon sits at 7,777 feet. So I'm not sure the exact elevation we're at, but we're somewhere in the 7,000 foot mark, which means it's not nearly as hot up here as it is down in the flatter lands or anything around 4,000 and below. My truck thermometer read 83, and it's late July at noon. So 80s is a fine hiking weather. Sure beats the 110 that it was where I just came from. That's the flip side of the coin for doing easier trails, more accessible. But primarily, this is why I don't hike on the weekend. You come out here on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, man, it is gonna be a night and day difference. So here the trail kind of forks. Looks like it goes up on top of the canyon, but the creek goes straight down. I think this is another amazing waterfall. So that little waterfall, from what I read, It's supposed to be like the halfway point-ish. And another good option for cooling off on the way back. So I think I'm gonna change into my shorts for the way back and get under that waterfall to cool down. Yeah, this trail attracts them all. There's people in straight up flip-flops, Crocs. One girl had a nice white pair of leather go-go boots, Hokas, Nikes, every kind of sneaker. People tiptoeing and trying to gingerly pick their way like they're about to fall off a tightrope. And, you know, I have mixed feelings. People need to get outside more. But at the same time, people come so woefully unprepared. It's embarrassing, and that's the frustrating part, because you get stuck behind these huge groups. Look, I get it. These are skills you have to learn. I understand that, but if you're about to go on a 5-mile hike through the backcountry, you should know just instinctively that flip-flops are inappropriate footwear, and that you're not going to keep your shoes clean. Even with the crowds, these slot canyons and canyon hikes in Utah are just spectacular. I mean, it's really accessible backcountry and really amazing hiking trails. One of my favorite things when I'm hiking these Utah trails is when I'm coming around a bend in a canyon like this, and then you see up ahead, the trail just seems to disappear and gets dark. It's probably just because I'm here on a Saturday midsummer at noon, as opposed to like a Tuesday or Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. But I'm inclined to give this hike to the families, to the tourists, just to the people who don't get out much, don't get outside, outdoors like this. Kind of let them have this one, because there's a lot of other spectacular, amazing, magnificent, marvelous, incredible backcountry hiking trails and slot canyons here in Utah. They're a little harder to access, a little more difficult to do, and therefore less visited. So to the super outdoorsy folks, you're probably gonna like those trails a little more, but this is still gorgeous. Now, looks like I have just come to a T. Which means, according to the map that I was looking at, and by map I mean Google Earth last night, I'm standing in Willis Creek, right here. And then it comes to a confluence. Confluence means it intersects with another creek, and I think it's Sheep Creek, right here. And if that's true, then I'm at the end of the Willis Creek Slot Canyon Trail. Let me check my watch. Okay, yeah, I've been on the trail just about an hour. It's only 2.5 miles each way in and then 2.5 out. So at my very, very slow walking pace of about 2 miles an hour, this should be it. Now, if you're a super duper adventurous hiker and you want to have a really neat, like a loop hike, because everybody hates out and backs, you want to do a loop. Continuing down this creek will link up with Bull Gorge Trail. You're basically looking at a 15, maybe 20 mile, probably closer to 17, we'll call it 17, we'll split the difference. A 17-mile loop. For many, that's a great day hike. For me, that is certainly an overnight. And hopefully, I'll have time and the energy someday to come back and do that loop, because Bull Gorge looks pretty cool too. And this is just such a beautiful area. Quick tip before we go see those waterfalls. When you get to the end of Willis Creek Trail and you want to know what's to the left, what's upstream, up the Sheep Creek stream, it looks like a slot, but it's not. Let me show you what I mean. There is a muddy, stagnant pool of doom. I imagine if you were super athletic, you could kind of get up this crack right here and get up on top and see what's back in there. But otherwise, literally just like 100 feet up the trail, it just stops right here at this rock wall. I suppose you could also climb up this face right here because it has all these ridges. But the bottom line is, for the average hiker, man, there's nothing up this way. Even though it looks like a slot, it's a dead end. So let's go see those super cool waterfalls and do our obligatory waterfall bath.
Here it goes!
This is just an outstanding feature. The water, super warm, so it's just really refreshing. And it's a really deep pool. It's like over my knee. So this is a great thing to cool off in. And we're gonna do it again at the very, very first waterfall, right at the trailhead. Nifty tip, if you're in the area, just like a lot of these places around southern Utah and just Utah in general, there are lots of trail ride guides available. And in my personal opinion, that is the best way to hike. Okay, we are now approaching the section of trail at the very beginning with the first waterfall. It would be a crime to not take advantage of that. An important thing to remember if you're coming out to do the Willis Creek hike, continue on the road for a couple more miles and you get some spectacular views. We have Bryce Canyon National Park over there. You can see some towering hoodoos. Then back over there in Grand Staircase Escalante, just big, beautiful, stripy mountains. Now that was a really fun experience. If you have an idea for an adventure that we should go on, please put it in the comments section. And if you're looking for some more adventure ideas, you can click one of these links and go to the page, because there's literally hundreds of other adventures going on there, and I hope to see you next time.